The Cleveland Browns. Nobody wants to talk about the Cleveland Browns, but I found somebody. I did. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm good. How are you? No one does want to talk about the Cleveland Browns, but I do sometimes.
So before we get into like the nitty gritty of all things, you want to go ahead and let the people know where they can find you?
Yeah, so you can actually find everything you need to know about me at my own website, Blaiden.com, Blaiden.com. It is the single best investment I ever made was buying my own name as my domain. And you can find my podcast with Matt and Theo, Stay Hot. You can find my music if you like listening to music, shameless plug there. And then my TikTok and other socials, so.
So what music do you do? Like genre?
It's just rock music mostly. So like
That's sick.
My favorite eras of music are like 70s and 90s. So everything I make is kind of influenced by those and in some capacity. I stayed up till 3 a.m. last night writing a riff. Just
That's insane. So I've been doing like my summer like deep dives into like 2026 class. So I'll be like watching tape, and I've been listening to like lo-fi, but it's like pirate metal and saloon metal lo-fi. I don't know how I got into this rabbit hole, but like it slaps so
on
hard.
Like the Spotify like algorithms?
Yeah, right. It must be.
It's like somehow they just like slowly push like weirder and weirder music on you until you're just like you don't even know how you got there in the first place. But
exactly. But we've been starting these. I will ask my guests, give me a word, a sentence, could be a syllable, to just encapsulate the general vibes. It could be last year, it could be next year. Shoot, it could be the 2027 season at this point for the Browns. So what would be that word, that sentence, that lullaby?
A single word.
Doesn't have to be a word. It could be a statement. It could be a onomatopoeia.
I mean, it's been a whole lot of pain, so we'll
Hey.
I think there are some reasons to be excited, but it's mostly pain.
And we'll get into that optimism later because we got to reflect on 2024.
Sure.
It was a tough year. It was kind of a revolving door after Watson went down. You had Jameis, you had DTR. I think Bailey Zappi made a couple appearances here and there. So it was a season never meant to be. Y'all went 3-14. I was looking at the EPA per play, and like the defense was still relatively good. They were 10th in run defense, 20th in pass defense. I mean, he played a lot of man and got toasted. But I mean, when you have Myles Garrett, you can kind of afford to, hey,
yeah,
we trust you. Myles Garrett's gonna get to the passer. Just guard this guy for 3-5 seconds. See what happens. But yeah, the offense was kind of a mess. I don't even know how to ask this. Like, what went right? What went wrong? Everything went wrong.
I mean, everything. I mean, you talk about the EPA per play. The Browns were dead last in passing EPA by a staggering amount. It is horrifying. If you haven't seen the chart, for those listening, it's embarrassing to see the disparity between like the second worst passing offense and the Cleveland Browns. And yeah, it was a revolving door when Watson went down, but Watson was not good when he was in anyway. So at no point did the Browns really have a good quarterback last year. I think you can very easily argue whether it's them, the Giants, maybe the Colts for the worst quarterback situation in football last year. And given how just statistically bad the Browns passing offense was, I think you have to say it was Cleveland. So it was bad quarterbacking last year. I don't know if it's going to be much better this year, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I mean, you had a hefty list of guys go down too. Wyatt Teller was on IR. DeJuan Jones, Jedrick Wills. See you later, Wills. He's gone now. Chubb. Yeah, Chubb went down. Njoku, golly, and this is all just the offense.
Yeah, no, the injury list was also brutal. I don't know if like having a full slate of healthy guys would have made us that much better, but it would have been maybe not 3-14 bad or like the worst passing offense in football bad. The main issue I do think you have to address is the offensive line. You know, you talk about like, oh, Jack Conklin was hurt. When isn't Jack Conklin hurt? Oh, Wyatt Teller was hurt. He's had pretty consistent injury issues as well. Like the only consistently good offensive lineman in Cleveland is Bitonio. Pochik is solid as well. And like even DeJuan Jones, when he's out there, he's not quick enough to play against speed rushers. He gave up, 3 or 4 sacks against Brian Burns? Like Brian Burns is good, but it's just like he just speed rushes him and DeJuan Jones is not fast enough, not quick enough. His feet don't move well enough to get with those guys. And so really the Browns offensive line just wasn't very good last year, and it's hard to see a world where it's much better unless everyone is healthy. And even if they're all healthy, it's still like, how much of Conklin have we even seen? Like, is he the same all-pro player that we picked up a few years ago? DeJuan Jones, I think is like maybe better than Wills at some things, but not that much better. It's like, it really does feel like it's just Bitonio, and then you're like fingers crossed for everyone else.
Yeah, it's so weird because I know you go back to last season before, a lot of people saw the offensive line as a massive strength. So
a lot of people still see it that way.
Yeah. I mean, I think defensively is probably the bright spot for this squad. I really like Schwartz as a DC last year. Third in pressure, but I mean, hey, Myles Garrett's going to do that for you. But also, like, versus the run, like, very good scores. Scores per drive, they were 6th. So, like, yeah, I mean, this was a defense I was trying to keep their offense in the game, but just couldn't really do much of anything.
Yeah, I don't think the defense was the problem last year. I do think the defense has problems, namely, I don't think the secondary is as good as people make it out to be. And of course, the injury of Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah makes things very difficult for Schwartz, who likes to run these kind of exotic blitz and pressure packages. And JOK is so good at getting downhill on plays like that. But I think like Emerson, I think got a little bit overrated. Newsome, I think, has been overrated for a while. Delpit is a solid underneath player, but can be iffy on the back end, and they just don't have a true like elite free safety.
Yeah, I was gonna say that kind of goes for feels like all the safeties on this roster are kind of that, like, of that box variety, I suppose.
Yeah, I've always said like Delpit's the second best linebacker in Cleveland, behind JOK. So yeah, it's just not like outside of the front four, which like the front four even wasn't that good last year outside of Garrett, and that's like they had a lot of pressures, but they weren't getting as many sacks as they were the year before, because it's like a lot of that fell onto Garrett, and they just didn't have anyone else who was really converting in the same way. I love the addition of Mason Graham. I think that's going to help out a lot, and I think this year the defensive line, I think it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be one of the best defensive lines in football this year, but last year it just didn't quite have the juice that it needed to have as many sacks as it did in 2023.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about what they did in the draft, just from like philosophy and like, oh, looking to the future, but are they like? There's going to be a good conversation there. But let's take a look at the offseason, take a look at what they lost, what they gained. I guess I kind of want to first start with Tommy Rees. Before we started this, I made the joke of the revolving door at OC for the Browns, and I mean, this is Stefanski's offense. But you bring in Tommy Rees, former what was he, a Notre Dame quarterback? I don't know if he stuck. I don't know if he played in the NFL or if he just went straight to like grad assistant.
I know he was. I don't think he was playing in the NFL.
Yeah, because
I should have looked that up before.
I mean, that's neither here or there. I know that he was with like Bama. He was with Notre Dame.
Yeah,
and now he's here as an OC. Which hey, good young OC. Well, good. We'll find out. But even young. It's young, and this is still going to be Stefanski's offense. This is going to be. I assume he's going to be the play caller and whatnot. So,
it feels like for the Browns, getting an offensive coordinator is mostly about it's mostly about kind of communication and install more so than like play calling necessarily. It could be play calling. I mean, we've seen Stefanski take a backseat in the play calling role before. It's not unthinkable that he could do it again, and maybe he's looking for someone that has the skill set to kind of be that creative on the field play caller. Kind of what, of course, we saw in Detroit. And that's, of course, now in Chicago. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't know exactly. What Rees is going to look like. It's always hard for me to speculate like an offensive coordinator like this. It looks like he was on the practice squad in 2014 for the, at the time, Washington Redskins. And so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was.
And he went immediately into coaching Northwestern, then the Chargers, then back at Notre Dame for several years, Alabama, and now in Cleveland.
Yeah, because I think last year he was like the pass-in coordinator or something. Yeah,
tight ends coach and yeah.
He had his hand in the pot, so it's not like this is a. I was gonna say foreign, but this isn't a guy you're bringing from the outside. So some of the guys you lost, really on a 4 and 13, 3 and 14. Excuse me, gave y'all an extra win there. Not really gonna have too many notable losses. Like, okay, we were a bad team. Any guy that really hits free agency isn't really gonna hurt too much. I would say Nick Chubb, just being a culture thing, is kind of a shot to the groin. There we go.
Yeah.
I
love Nick Chubb. I hope him nothing but the best in Houston, but breaks my heart to see him go. And he was great until he just, shredded up his knee again, then broke his foot. Just hard to sustain that. And then, of course, he's like, you have to extend him to then keep him around. So that's what makes that so difficult.
Yeah. I think he had, before he signed with the Texans, he had like one of those workout videos where he's just squatting like 500 pounds. It's like,
oh yeah, he can still move weight. That's no problem.
But them joints.
Can he be explosive laterally? We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Do you have any specific hits in free agency that you're like, you know what, that one does kind of hurt?
Not particularly. Dalvin Tomlinson was a big body inside. So, like, part of me wanted to keep him around, but I don't think it's the biggest loss in the world. And outside of that, there's just, we brought in Malik Collins, who I think is a pretty good pickup. They extended Garrett. There was honestly a lot of conversation about whether the Browns should have traded Garrett away.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was hot.
Truly gone in on the rebuild. We were in New Orleans for Super Bowl media, and Garrett was there, and so everyone was trying to interview him, being like, "Are you staying in Cleveland? What are you doing?" And it at the time looked like he was going to leave, and then by the end of the week, he had signed an extension. Dude. I was like, how did they even get that done? So that was it was absolutely gnarly work going on with Myles Garrett.
Oh yeah, because now you have this whole like the edge market is just insane. Now TJ Watt just got his cash. I mean, it's basically they're getting paid like top end wide receivers.
Yeah,
Trey Hendrickson's out here
to some extent. I think Watt deserved his deal. I think he's the best run defender in football. The Bengals have to pay Trey Hendrickson just for the sake of, like, if you lose another good defensive player, you're going to have the worst defense of all time.
I mean, what are they doing here? They haven't even signed, like, Shamar Stewart because they were like, oh, we're going to do something unprecedented with these first-round contracts. And it's like...
It's a poverty franchise, man. And Cincinnati, Cleveland, Dallas, they've got these whack owners. they just can't. Tennessee's in that mix too. There were some other teams I was thinking about. It's just like worst ownership groups in the NFL, and Cleveland and Cincinnati are definitely in that mix.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they should have traded Garrett. I didn't want to go into a rebuild necessarily, and I also didn't want to lose like the best defensive player in football. But I don't know. There's definitely a part of me that's like, does it actually make sense to go into this year with the best defensive player in football, but no real hope to win the Super Bowl?
Dude, what do you mean, dude? Joe Flacco, he's been there before.
That's true, man. He's experienced.
You know what? He reminds me of a turkey bowl. Dad showing up for his one game of the year. He's like, I'm gonna spin this ball, dude.
He's gonna spin that ball. No, that's true. He is going to spin that ball.
Yeah.
So for how long? That's hard to say.
Hey, you always got Kenny Pickett's in his little hands.
I think all four quarterbacks will play this year.
Yeah. I again, when we get to the draft, we'll get to that conversation because that's probably the most fascinating thing about Browns right now. But just to highlight on quick some of the other guys that were notable, I suppose, losses. Elijah Moore, who's
not trash.
Yeah, right.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, still trying to find the magic from his rookie season. DTR is elsewhere. Bailey Zappi, Jameis Winston.
I loved DTR, man. He was so fun to watch in college, and I was like, dude, what if? And then he had that great preseason performance his rookie year. I was like, dude, what if? And no.
Nope. Not the.
I do think he kind of got a raw deal. Like his first start was against that Ravens defense a couple years ago, and he just got blasted. They were just like, yeah, just go out there, man. Just go have fun. And meanwhile, it's like Matt BK was having his like insane season too.
Yeah.
So he's just getting all this interior pressure and he's just got no hope. I'm like, that's the worst possible first start anyone could have had. And it's like, I think that just shot his confidence. I'm like, I feel really bad because I think he actually could have been okay. But.
Yeah. He's in Philly now, so that's where backup quarterbacks pop off. Kenny Pickett got a contract off it. Tanner McKee looked good last year.
True.
So hey,
Tanner McKee.
Hey, I liked Tanner McKee. I was a Tanner
McKee truther.
I'm a Tanner McKee truther, man. This dude can't touch the sun.
I was a Matt Corral. Still am.
So then, are you a Jackson Dart guy? No, he's better Matt Corral.
No, I think Matt Corral's the better Jackson Dart. No, see, that was my thing. I got upset because I was like, these guys are basically the same guy. Like, archetype-wise, they're the same. And I think Corral was a slightly better athlete. I'll give you Dart's like a little thicker, more physical. Yeah. But I was like, why'd Matt Corral have to fall so far and like also never got to play? And Dart's probably going to start at some point this year with a first round pick. I'm like, that just feels wrong to me.
Dude, you want to talk about another mess? The Giants. Like,
yeah, dude.
I feel
quarterback room is.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Daboll. It's like you were forced to die on the sword of Daniel Jones. What the hell?
Oh, Dave! I promise you, Daboll loves Jackson Dart.
Yeah,
I bet that was Daboll's pick, though.
I'm hoping he gets a chance though, because like this whole like stigma of like, oh, if we don't see any significant just a move in the right direction, then we're gonna clean house, and it's like that's not fair.
Well, that's why you draft the rookie quarterback, is partly to save your job.
Yeah, to get that.
It's like, well, you have to give us at least 2 more years. I mean,
hey, I have seen coaching staffs kicked before after drafting their guy. What was it? Bryce Young and Carolina. You had golly, why am I blanking? Frank Wright.
Yep. Yeah, that was quick, but
so I guess
I think you have to be really bad to get the boot that quick though.
Yeah, I do want to give a quick shout out to Juan Thornhill. Couldn't stay healthy last year is what it is, but it's kind of funny. Thornhill
actually not bad.
Yeah,
Thornhill was okay.
He's fine, but yeah, he got banged up early last year. I think it was like week 1. But essentially y'all just replace him with Kazi, who's coming over from the Steelers, and now Thornhill's over with the Steelers. They're kind of similar guys at this point in their career. But let's talk additions. You had, honestly, I'm kind of shocked. We talked about the offensive line being like, okay, can these guys stay healthy? But you go out and get like, I legit thought Tevin Jenkins wasn't going to be a starter somewhere. But no, he ends up potentially being the backup on this squad. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Tevin Jenkins believer. He could start somewhere, but like it's like if Bitonio and Teller are healthy, like he's gonna be the backup behind those guys. I think you have to bring in someone like that though, just for the sake of like Bitonio almost retired this offseason. How much gas does he have in the tank? Again, Wyatt Teller was hurt last year. Jawan Jones got hurt last year. Conklin's hurt every year. Like, you just need more depth on the offensive line. They also brought in Cornelius Lucas. I don't know how much of an impact he's going to have.
Hey, like, he might
someone
be...
that could probably end up playing this year.
I think he's one of the better backups in the league. And I know he's like a fossil, but still, he'll give you a good 3 games. I'm just saying. Yeah, when on the field,
how old is he at this point?
I'm pretty sure he's like 34, but I'm open to being wrong.
He just turned 34 a few days ago.
Hey, look at me,
Lucas.
Happy birthday, Cornelius.
Happy birthday.
So yeah, he's got at least 3 good games left in his career.
And you know what? That's probably all we need him for.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably it. So. And we've got Zach Zinter and Luke Whippler, like some young cats in there. So there's some potential to have like some decent depth for injury purposes, but it sucks that we have to like plan so hard for like, well, what if the entire offensive line gets hurt again? Yeah. Because it's such a real possibility with the guys that we have right now. But that's kind of how you have to play it.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett's now part of this roster. Again, we'll talk quarterbacks in a little bit. You mentioned the Malik Collins pickup, which low-key, I like that. I mean, Schwartz has said he wants fast cars, not dump trucks on his defensive line. And I think Collins is a very fast car. Like, he's just really good as a pass rusher.
It's such a very clear indicator of like, they were like, yeah, we're getting rid of Tomlinson. We're bringing in Collins. Like, we're going to stop the run on the way to the quarterback, right? That's the mentality that they have, right? We're going to get after you. We're going to try and break sack records. And if we happen to stop the run, that's cool too. But all they care about is rushing the passer, man.
So Deontay Johnson, he's gonna rejuvenate his career.
We really did just like swap guys with like what is this? The Browns and the Steelers just like trading each other's leftovers. I mean, I think
there's a good player left in there, right? He's like 26.
I think there is. I think there is a good player left in there. He's better than I think Elijah Moore was. So I consider that to be an upgrade. I actually kind of like the receiving core a decent amount. It's like, it's not great, but for what it is, it's
it's not
okay.
deep.
Like
it's not deep.
It's like you got Judy, who, you know, coming off his best year as a pro. Cedric Tillman, I like a good bit. Deontay Johnson, David Bell, I like a good amount. Jamari Thrash has some juice in his arsenal. Michael Woods, I'm like, there's some guys here, but again, you know, when I'm like, Michael Woods, pretty good for a wide receiver 6. But a lot of people in the comments would be like, dude's bringing up Michael Woods and Jamari Thrash, talking about this is a good receiving core. It's like, if I have to bring up those guys, be like, no, trust me, it's kind of okay. Then maybe it's not that good to begin with.
Hey, as a Dolphins fan, if I'm talking about our cornerback room, let me tell you about Storm Duck.
Oh, dude, we were talking about that earlier. I don't remember what. Oh, because we were talking about the Jalen Ramsey, Minka Fitzpatrick trade. We were like, dude, what does the Dolphins cornerback room even look like right now?
it's bad. It's rough.
Is it the worst cornerback room in the NFL?
Oh, 100%. I don't know how you could come close. Like Storm Duck, UDFA a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Cam Smith, hasn't seen the field a ton after being a second round pick. That's not good. Then we drafted
Storm Duck,
Jason Marshall
Jr.
We got Cater Coho, but he's in the slot.
Cater Coho, yeah.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins are going to be mid to below mid again, and they're going to blow everything up. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
I mean, whatever to get Chris Greer out of the door makes me happy. It sucks because I think we got a good coaching staff, but our GM sucks, dude. It's terrible.
Yeah.
The worst. I guess one last name. Well, speaking of Dolphins, you got Jerome Baker on there. Kind of needed that with JOK seemingly being out this year, which that really sucks. He actually graduated from my high school, Bethel. That was
really?
Yeah. I remember I was doing his draft profile, and I was like, what? We produce guys? Okay. That's like last time we produced somebody, it was like Allen Iverson. Different sport.
Oh, wow, man.
Yeah, but I guess the last name I do want to bring up is Joe Tryon Shoyinka. I gave that my best shot. A guy that former first rounder, toolsy guy, didn't really put it together in Tampa. But I mean, you're gonna be playing next to Myles Garrett along that rotation with like Isaiah McGuire and such. So increases your chances of seeing those tools come to fruition.
Yeah, they're just again, they've got some serious depth along their front four. I mean, obviously, like Garrett Collins, Graham will talk about. They've got McGuire, Alex Wright, Michael Hall, who like we'll see how much he plays. Shelby Harris. You're better at pronouncing names than I am. I wouldn't have even tried with Tryon Shoyinka.
Oh, dude, I'm notorious for butchering names, bro.
I was like the first time that I tried to, I was like, no, I'm not even gonna try. And so later I was like, I'm just gonna look up the pronunciation and go from there. But like the Browns they've got some really solid juice. I'm really excited for their pass rush this year. We'll see if they actually do end up stopping the run along with that. But yeah, I really like what their pass rush is going to look like this year.
Yeah, but let's get to the draft because this is the meaty portion. Because I remember I was doing my live stream for the draft, and someone's like, oh, the Jaguars are trading up. And I was like, what? No, get this troll out of here, bro. And then I see it happen. I was like, what the hell is going on? I I thought the Browns were going to be taking Travis Hunter and then finding a way to get Shedeur Sanders. Little did I know, only they were going to do half of that. But they end up trading back, acquiring a second round or a first round pick next year from the Jags. So for me at that point, it was like, oh, it's clear that they're going to go quarterback in 2026. I don't know if you had that feeling when that went down.
I mean, they're trying things at quarterback this year, obviously, with Gabriel and Sam.
Yeah, now they are.
But I mean, I wouldn't have taken a quarterback outside of Cam Ward in the first round this year, just based on like the big board that I had. So I wanted them to take Hunter there at 2, and then when they traded back, I think my head initially went to Genty was because he was the best prospect available, and I was like, you lose Chubb, you get Genty, all of a sudden this run game can look really scary again. But they ended up with Mason Graham, and I was pretty excited about that. I think, he's a really great pass rusher on the interior. He's got great hands. We'll see kind of how the run defense develops there, because I know a lot of people like the other guy next to Kenneth Grant from Michigan. A lot of people like him more,
baby.
Because he's got such like power behind his punch. And so that makes him a little bit more of a force in the run game. He can take on double teams better. But I just think Graham is so quick, so good with his hands, that it's just going to make him such an elite pass rusher. And when you already have to account for Garrett, you're not really going to be able to put double teams on a guy like that.
Yeah, no, and Graham, I don't know if it was like prospect fatigue, him not performing at the combine, but yeah, people were suddenly like, oh, he could slip out of the top 10. I was like, he's like one of the 5 best players in this class. Like,
yeah,
he's a twitched up monster. Just gets after it. Like, I didn't quite understand that, but yeah, I like that addition to the defensive line, making a defensive line that's already scary, very scary. Yes. And then you open the second round, and I think this was an obvious, like, okay, JOK is probably not playing next year. Go out and get Carson Schwessinger out of UCLA, former walk-on, former wide receiver, special teams ace until he broke out this past season. What are the vibes with Schwessinger?
I actually really like this linebacker class in general. I was a big fan of a lot of the guys. Obviously Campbell, I think, is going to be, really, really good. He's the big name, and people like Jalen Walker too. And I think he's pretty solid as well. But Schwessinger and Donovan Knight, I think both of those guys are really good. Obviously at different things, but I think they're both really strong tacklers. Knight was the more solid run defender. He's got some, again, more pop behind his pads, able to kind of disperse blockers better.
He's thicker.
He's thicker. Yeah, he's just a bigger, stronger body. But Schwessinger in coverage, I mean, you talk about former wide receiver, his hip fluidity and his ball skills are out of this world. I mean, he is going, I think, without JOK on the field, it'll be interesting to see kind of what kind of packages Jim Schwartz kind of draws up. Because, I mean, there's a world where you have like Schwessinger and Delpit kind of in the same area, and you almost have just this absolute lockdown in the middle of the field, and in a way that doesn't require you to have like a true deep safety. I'm very interested to see the types of coverages he throws out, because he likes to run a lot of man, but I feel like there's some very interesting zone possibilities here, and I wonder if he tries to explore those a little bit more.
Yeah, I didn't hate Schwessinger's like run defense. I thought he he would fill in gaps.
He's
and
a great tackler. Yeah, if the gap is open, he can attack it.
He'll do it 100 miles an hour.
Yes, yes.
It looks like a car wreck.
He's got that same burst that JOK does flying downhill. He just can't quite shed blockers the same way. And Campbell kind of has that same problem, but Campbell's got such great movement that he's able to kind of just like bend around people. Schlesinger, I think, is a pure coverage piece. And then, the Browns have such a good defensive front that gaps are going to open up, and he's going to be able to shoot those and make plays in the run game also. So I think he's going to be a really good addition. I think we'll see a lot of him early on in the year. He could be a very quick impact player for the Browns defense. I think him and Mason Graham are about as good of a selection as they could have gone. I'm trying to find. I had like a dream draft scenario for the Browns, and I can't find it now. But it was like definitely Hunter was the first guy that I wanted, and then I think I wanted Knight with our second pick, but I don't know. There was Talik Williams, who I was a big fan of, who ended up in Detroit. He is a freakish run defender. Just got such great power. Just can't move him off his spot. So those were some other guys that I wanted, but I'm not mad with what they ended up doing. I think this is Andrew Berry's best work so far as a drafter.
Yeah, and you did end up getting an Ohio State player 3 picks later with Quinshawn Judkins, and we could bring in.
Can we? Have you seen the news?
Have you looked into that? Like, it sounds so weird. The general story, like, it was reported like 3 or 4 days after it happened. Like, she stayed with it. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait for more context on this.
I'm just like, dude, look. I don't know why we like. It's just, why is it always the Browns that have
I know
this issue, and why is it all like the NFL just has this
stigma,
consistent stigma and problem of athletes not being able to treat women properly like human beings. It's just a constant issue that seems to revolve, especially with the Browns. It seems, obviously, Watson, and we've had Kareem Hunt, and we've had
y'all have had an array, because you could even talk about Shadur Sanders and his heavy pedal.
Yeah, we brought in Jameis. Now Jameis's stuff was a good minute ago, but still, it's like, isn't the first Browns player to have these accusations leveled, and at this rate probably won't be the last. Definitely won't be the last NFL player, and it's bad.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Joe Flacco and his cockfighting ring to come to light.
Oh my gosh.
So seemingly though, with Judkins, you get that Chubb replacement. You get that.
Yeah, it's the power running.
Yeah.
I liked Henderson a little bit more just because of the top end speed, and I think he's got a little bit more wiggle, just ability to break runs at the second level. But I get why Stefanski would like Judkins and what he's looking to bring in. They already have Ford, who's kind of the speed back, and they also brought in Dylan Sampson, who I could see getting some work this year. But Judkins is meant to be the power, the goal line, the short yardage, and I can imagine at some point we'll see again, if barring any suspensions, him possibly being the bell cow. But
yes,
for now that's to be seen.
Yeah, right. Let's wait and see. But seemingly the offense is going to be okay. We're going to be very much run first, win the possession game, and let our defense make stops. That's kind of what those first 3 picks felt like.
Yeah, you want I mean, you got to keep Jim Schwartz around. You know,
Yeah.
The thing with great coordinators is they can leave. So,
Specifically, if you're an offensive coordinator.
yeah, it happens a lot. But like, I imagine Schwartz had opportunities to go be a head coach, either last offseason, if not this offseason also. But if you bring in guys to keep him happy, you keep Garrett around, obviously. You bring in Mason Graham, you bring in Schlesinger, you give him guys that allow him to really get in his bag and do things that he really enjoys, which is, again, sending exotic blitzes, man coverage, and just making life a living hell for opposing quarterbacks. You're going to be able to keep him around, and that's kind of what the day one of the draft felt like. It's like, okay, let's make Jim Schwartz happy. Let's get all the guys that we need to really fill out this defense. Let's just be a nightmare for pass rush, and then let's go and get a solid running back and try and make this offense at least be able to stay afloat.
Mm-hmm. Then you get Harold Fannin Jr. at pick 67. Dude, fun as hell.
I love Harold Fannin.
You know what?
Oh, man.
There's the guy he's gonna be the big slot. You could play him like H-back. Just have fun with him. Because I mean, I know Njoku was banged up last year, but seemingly he's gonna be healthy. But hey, get your two tight.
Njoku getting hurt is kind of an anomaly. I think he'll be pretty healthy. Again, it's very similar to the defense. Stefanski is just giving himself the opportunity to run lots of different packages. To be able to have any combination of Judy, Tillman, Johnson, Njoku, Fannin on the field at any given time, plus any combination of your running backs, it just lets you do so much more offensively than these are the guys that we have to put out there. And so these are the packages that we're limited to, which is kind of what they were in last year, which is like they're just kind of limited in what they can do because of the quarterback situation, of course, and because the offensive line was banged up, and then they just didn't have really that complete of a weapons group. So just being able to have a fully fleshed out group, multiple tight ends, and of course multiple wide receivers, I think it just makes everything easier for everyone. So I like them trying to at least give themselves more options on offense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, he's going to be someone you could get the ball out to quick, and he could create after the catch. Like, he was an absolute menace in that regard at Bowling Green. And it's not just like, he was a menace in like the group of five. Like, he did this against Penn State. He did it against Texas A&M. So like, it's some of the best defenses in the Power Four. So yeah,
I think Fannin's really good. I'm really excited to see how they use him. I think, like you said, getting the ball to him quick, screen game, a lot of tight end screens is like very similar to the Penn State guy whose name I'm blanking on right now. I think they're very similar in terms of archetype, and I honestly kind of prefer Fannin a little bit more.
Yeah, now I'm blanking. I'm like, okay, who's the other guy with Colson Loveland?
Penn State tight end NFL draft. I'm so bad at.
He went to the Colts.
Tyler Warren.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Man, that scored from everywhere. He snapped a ball and scored a touchdown off it. It was insane. He had a great year.
I like Fannin kind of a little bit more, but Warren's a really great athlete and super versatile, and you can use him all over the field. And inevitably he might go in at quarterback for Anthony Richardson at some point this year. So
I think he was a former quarterback in high school, so it's kind of nutty.
Yeah.
But now let's talk with the quarterback situation, because you draft Dylan Gabriel, and I was like, okay, all this is making sense to go quarterback next year, because I didn't see Gabriel as like a long-term NFL starter. He's, I think, maybe a high-end backup, like very good college player who can maybe bring some stability. But then you wrap the draft up by, I think you traded up to go get Shedeur Sanders, and suddenly it's like, okay, what is this quarterback room? What's going on? What's the plan? I seemingly don't hate it, because, like, you know what? if Shador ends up going out there, gives you some flashes, it allows you to do something else with those 2 first-round picks next year. But if he doesn't,
sure,
you're not strapped to him because he's what, a 5th-round pick? So there's minimal investment. So
I think people overestimated how good Shador Sanders is.
Yeah, no, he definitely should have gone much earlier.
I'll say this.
I don't think he should have been day 3.
I don't think he should have been day 3. I think he was
first round.
He was a second, maybe a 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
Day 3 I thought was crazy. Joe Flacco will start. That is a guarantee.
100%.
I don't know. I'm guaranteeing we'll see 3 quarterbacks start for the Browns this year. The one I'm not so sure about is Pickett, because I think Pickett is purely like contingency. But Flacco will start. Dylan Gabriel was the first quarterback the Browns drafted. To me, that is Stefanski's guy. That is the guy that Kevin was like, I want him. And Andrew Berry was like, I will get him for you. He has a really pretty ball. He doesn't throw like a short quarterback. He has a beautiful release. I think his mechanics are very clean. He's got some pretty nice movement in the pocket, and he's, I think, kind of shockingly athletic, like a pretty solid runner. So I honestly didn't hate them taking him there, even though I think Sanders is the better prospect. But I understand the vision for what Stefanski's trying to do with his offense, where they were dealing last year with Watson, who holds the ball for an insanely long time, right? He takes some of the worst sacks you've ever seen at the NFL level. And so rather than going and getting Shador Sanders, who also takes really bad sacks, they're like, let's get a guy who we know is going to be able to get the ball out quick. We see what the Broncos did with Bo Nix, right? So let's go and get a guy in kind of that mold that can get the ball out quick and just execute the quick game, execute, the simple things, has good mechanics, like can just do all the easy stuff. So to me, like, Shador Sanders just didn't feel like a quarterback that fits Stefanski. Shador Sanders to me feels like a Haslam pick. It's like, dude, it's like, you got it. It's Deion's kid. Like, bro, you have to. It's like Manziel was a Haslam pick, and not that Sanders is anything like Manziel. But the upside to Sanders is obviously like he's got a really nice accurate ball. He can make some off-platform throws. He's got the NFL arm and athleticism. Like he can really make some plays, and he's got some elusiveness, behind the line of scrimmage to make guys miss. My problem with him, and I think the reason why he took so many sacks, is he's just like, Matt brought this up when we were talking about the Carolina Panthers last year, where it felt like Bryce Young was trying so hard to just evade pressure that he didn't even get the opportunity to really think about, oh, what am I going to do once I get free? And sometimes that's kind of how Sanders looks, where he's spending so much time just trying to do one thing that he can't even focus on the other. Like the game that I always think about is Kansas. They were down 2 possessions with 11 or 12 minutes to go in the game, and they start just doing a typical drive. They get the ball to Travis Hunter a couple of times. They get past midfield. Once they get past midfield, Travis Hunter does not see the ball. They send him on multiple go routes down the sideline. He's got multiple one-on-one opportunities. He's wide open a couple of times, and they just don't throw it to him. And maybe that's play calling. Maybe it's designed for him not to get the ball there. But from what it looks like it's more on Sanders, that he needs to just trust his guys and let the ball go sometimes, and it feels like he would rather take a sack than throw it away. So I do think there is some reason to think that the quarterback hierarchy will go Flacco, and then Gabriel, and then if Gabriel isn't good, which I don't think he will be that good. If he is good, I don't think he'll be like sustainably good. And then Sanders. And like if Sanders is bad, then they'll be like, well, I guess we have to put Pickett in. So like, I think Gabriel would get the start before Sanders just because Stefanski probably wanted him more.
Yeah, I think there's that video of after they picked Sanders, you saw like the war room just kind of deflate. It was just comical. I think you brought up like just the self-imposed pressure. He was by far the worst in this class when it came to that. I have him down as like the pressure that he faced at Colorado. 27% of it was on him. And anytime you're above 20%, that's kind of like a big red flag. He was cleanly at 27, so I was like, okay.
It was rough. And it's not that like there are a lot of quarterbacks that, you know, kind of have self-inflicted pressure, but they just can get away from it better. Like Sanders isn't a good enough athlete to be able to like make that work.
Yeah, you got to be special in that regard. Even if you look at like an Allen, Jackson, or a Mahomes, it's like, well, you're talking about like the 3 best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah. Like Caleb Williams had a lot of self-inflicted pressure in college, but he was also like a freakazoid.
Yeah.
So like he's got the Lamar like elusiveness in the backfield in the same way that like Sanders just doesn't. And not that, like, it's not that Sanders is a bad athlete, but he's not Lamar Jackson, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels level athlete. So
yeah, well, I think you said it perfectly. Where Pickett's kind of just this contingency. Because like if things don't go right with Flacco, or if he gets hurt, then why not throw the rookies out there? You have 2 first-round picks in 2026.
The only way they wouldn't is if like they're like neither of them are ready.
Yeah.
Like if they're just like, we can't throw these guys out there, we have to throw Pickett out. Like he's been in the league, we have to.
I have a hard time believing like Dylan Gabriel won't be ready because he's a very veteran quarterback.
Exactly.
Like he's played for a lot of different systems. So
and that's why I think Stefanski loves it. I'm like, he's like clearly like he's the Bo Nix. Like he's just such a vet, like you said. He's like just got like he just knows football. Like he just knows how to play football. So I'm just like, I'm not worried about him in the sense of like, if they need a rookie to go out there and play, I think he'd be very comfortable in like the way that like Richardson, super inexperienced, like you are fighting for your life just to get him like reps. Like Dorian Thompson-Robinson even, I like was somewhat experienced, but just didn't quite have the same like comfort when he got into the NFL. And I think Gabriel, to me, just looks like a much more comfortable quarterback to have back there. But only time will tell. It's what, July?
Yeah.
We'll know in a month and a half how good these guys actually are. Well, we won't even then because it'll just be preseason. So
yeah, but seemingly going into the roster and like we stick with the offense. The obvious strength of this squad will probably be the offensive line, the run game, and we'll see with Flacco, right? Can he be mistake free? But in theory, this offense should be much better than it was last season, right?
I mean, what is much better? I mean, again, we're talking about the worst passing offense in the NFL by a staggering amount, and like also a bad run game. I mean, being even bottom 10 would be a massive improvement from last year. So, which I think that's kind of where I'm about expecting them, like 25th-ish offense.
Yeah.
Flacco being mistake-free, I don't think is in his bag anymore. I don't think it ever really was in his bag. I'm not even going to say anymore. The offensive line, I think if everyone is healthy and DeJuan Jones just like really locks in, I think it can be a good offensive line. I think there's just so much like if this goes right and if this goes right, then it could be like an average offense. And so to me, it's like probably the 25th to 29th best offense in football.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think Jones said last year he was dealing with that injury. I don't remember if it was specifically like hamstring or something, but
he had some injuries he was dealing with, but he wasn't exactly the most quick-footed before he got hurt. It's just
well, I mean at 360.
Yeah, it's just like people are like finally realized like just run around the guy, man. Like don't try and bull rush him. Yeah. Don't try and get cute. If he gets his hands on you, you're cooked. Just get around the edge, dip your shoulder, rip through, you'll beat him. And Brian Burns let us know that. That game was really embarrassing.
Yeah. I want to jump to the receiving core because Tillman I thought we saw a good amount from, but like in terms of potential, but it was just like I think it was a concussion that basically cooked him for better part of a month or so, right? So
yeah, I really like Tillman. I think he's got a lot of juice.
Yeah, I think he's a really good complement to Judy.
He's got really nice hands, good size. He's able to make catches outside of his frame. He gets open. Like there's just he's a pretty solid blocker. Like there's just a lot that I trust him to do. And I think he's just a good guy to have on the field. Like I really do actually think the receiving core is like, if Judy can be about where he was last year, and if Tillman can continue to take a step, I think it's a pretty good 1-2 punch at wide receiver, and then of course with the tight end room. I mean, there is the possibility for the passing offense to improve. There's things to be excited about, but you need the quarterback play to be good, and it's just such a question mark. Like,
yeah.
You just have no idea. You just have no idea because it's Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. You have the oldest quarterback in the NFL right now, and then I guess he's the oldest.
He's got to be up there, right? With like Aaron Rodgers.
40. How old is Rodgers?
I want to say Rodgers is 42, 41, but could be mistaken.
Steelers. Rodgers is 41. So
hey.
Flacco is not the oldest. You've been nailing it on the ages.
I have a thing when draft comes around. I look at these ages and be like, okay, so maybe they're focusing these guys. So I'm not half bad in that regard. But let's jump to the defense because this is really the only chance that this team has in wins, in my opinion, is if the defense can continue to be really, really good. Talked about the depth of the defensive line. Talked a little bit about Carson Schwessinger, maybe what his expectations are. Let's talk about the secondary. Because I believe Newsome and Emerson are up for contracts this year, right?
Yeah, they should be.
Yeah, I know Emerson is. Newsome, I'm pretty confident, but I mean, essentially, they're going to be playing for their next contract. So you would at least like to think that puts a little fire under their butt, right?
Little contract year performance from Greg Newsome and Martin Emerson.
It worked for Austin Jackson, and we signed him. We gave him money, so it's tried and true contract year performances.
There you go. Yeah, Greg Newsome is, and so is Emerson. So maybe that does light a fire. Maybe they do have better performances this year. I'm not super high on either of those guys, and I really haven't been for a while. Even in 2023, when everyone was in love with Martin Emerson, I thought the Browns were. I was like, I really don't think this guy is that good. This is like a prime chance to like trade him when like his
when he's hot.
the highest. But you know, they kept him around, and yeah, I guess it's fair. It's, you know, it's not like there were better corners in the room necessarily, or better options for them to go get. You know, you have a bird in the hand, so I think they could have better years than they did last year. I'll say that much. Sort of regression to the mean. I think 23 was kind of an overestimate of the level that they can be at, and especially with the sack numbers being as high as they were, there was a lot less pressure on those guys to be really great. Last year, with the sack numbers being down, more pressure again, a lot of man coverage, less room for error. But the only guy who's really, really good in that regard is Denzel Ward. And, you know, unless you're able to find another Denzel Ward or a really good safety, it's going to be hard to just live in that much man coverage. So, you know, if we're projecting the defensive line to be better, closer to that 2023 level, I think it's also fair to project that Emerson and Newsome also have better years. Probably see Newsome a lot in the slot this year, and Emerson more out wide. Hickman will probably be the deep safety, and then we'll see kind of the alignment that we see with Delpit and Schlesinger and Hicks and Baker, and how they want to rotate that linebacker and the safeties kind of underneath. So I don't know. I can see being excited about the secondary a little bit still, even with the down performance.
So let's say Emerson, if he looks more like what we saw this past year, who is that next guy up then on the roster? 'Cause there's a few names, but I'm curious specifically who is that guy?
That's a good question. They've got Tony Brown, they've got Nick Needham,
they got Mitchell. Oh, Nick Needham, Dolphins legend.
I was about to say, you know about Nick Needham, but like, they've got names, but are they good?
Yeah, right. I mean, a few of them are guys that they've had for a while, couple of years.
I think a lot of Browns fans are like, well, if we let these guys go, or if we traded them, it's like, well, then who do we have outside of Denzel Ward? And it's like, I think that's a very fair question. Like, especially when you look at the history of Andrew Berry, his draft hit rate is not that good. So if you're worried that Andrew Berry wouldn't be able to replace those guys with actually better players, I think it's fair to be concerned that about the possibility of losing those guys. Now, I think you could have made a case that, the Browns trade away Emerson, and then, or, you know, whatever, maybe they go get Will Johnson out of Michigan.
That would have been. It's not like he was available at 33 or 36, but
they could have. Hey, the Giants traded up, the Falcons traded up. You can make anything happen.
I was being sarcastic. I think he went at like 47 to the Cardinals or something.
Yeah, he did fall.
Yeah, no, y'all should have did that.
Well, Will Johnson is not a man corner. He would fit. I know I would have been excited about it, but we probably would have had the same issues where it's just like Jim Schwartz is calling a lot of man, and Will Johnson's just not a man.
Yeah, he's not that guy.
But yeah, I would have been excited about Ezuraku at 33. That would have made me excited. Luther Burden,
just more defensive line.
Just more defensive line. Just go absolutely.
How do you fix the secondary? We get to the quarterback.
Yeah, just keep getting pressure on people. Yeah, imagine a defensive line with Myles Garrett, Mason Graham, Malik Collins, and Donovan Ezuraku. It's the greatest. It's the greatest defensive line of all time.
So yeah, defense should be good. I guess we could now take a look at the schedule. And golly, you start the year off kind of rough.
Yeah,
mean,
the first 5 or 6 games, it's one of the hardest stretches in the NFL this year.
Yeah, you have that nice home game against the Vikings in London. So, I mean, at least you start the year with the Bengals, right?
That's true. That's a win, right?
Yeah.
It's a Bengals game at home to start the year. Yeah, that's a win.
I was looking this up, and I guess seemingly Joe Burrow hasn't had a full off season since his rookie year. So people are speculating that, maybe the slow start, if he gets a full off season, is healthy. That slow start won't be a thing, but I mean, I'll believe it when I see it.
I'll believe it when I see it. Again, they have a terrible defense.
Golly, yes.
So as bad as the Browns offense might be, we might be able to get some work in against this practice squad of a Cincinnati Bengals, unless Jordan Battle becomes who I think he can be.
No, yeah.
And then we'll get some tear against their offensive line. So I think that'll at least be a game, but I really do think the Browns can win week 1.
Yeah, I think in theory they should. But yeah, I mean, you get your bye at week 9, and probably the easiest game in that slate is the Patriots.
I mean,
oh, stop! How dare you? Maybe
the Patriots. The Patriots have Drake May. You know, he's.
Oh man,
my goat, Drake May.
Golly, dude. I mean, I don't think it'll be cold enough in Cleveland for the Dolphins to lose that game too much.
It'll only be October. It'll still be good.
Yeah.
The weather will be warm enough. They'll still be okay.
Now, will Tua be available? We'll see. But
what are his chances of making it to week 7?
Man, we moved up to go get Jonas Evans, who was the player I wanted absolutely 100%.
Okay.
Gave up a 3rd and 4th, and I was like, what the hell are we doing? Why? I wanted him, but I didn't understand the price.
Yeah.
Golly, but apparently the Patriots wanted him too.
Yeah,
so.
Tua could make it. He can make it to week 7. You don't play any crazy pass rushes. You do play the Jets and Buffalo.
Yeah. I mean,
Colts, Patriots, Bills, Jets, Panthers, Chargers. Like, you can survive that stretch.
Yeah. Seemingly your stretch, golly, Baltimore, Green Bay, Detroit.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, that's kind of rough up the get-go.
Then it's loss. Minnesota probably also a loss. Pittsburgh,
and they're coming off their bye.
Yeah, that might also.
So they got a really early bye. That's wild. Week 5 bye? Okay.
Yeah. So that means later in the year we'll beat Pittsburgh. That's good. Miami.
That could be a coin toss, man. I mean, that could be a coin toss. Unfortunately,
I'll give it to the Dolphins just because I think the weather will be good enough and Tua will probably be healthy that he'll probably be able to. Well, except the Dolphins notoriously aren't great against man coverage. So
we are notoriously not great against good teams too. So fortunately for us, we got some other things working in our favor. I mean, it will be Patrick Paul taking on freaking Myles Garrett. So
that's all. I'm like, Dolphins are bad against press coverage man, and they have a bad offensive line against what looks like it could be an absolutely vicious front for Cleveland. I kind of think there's a world where they win that game just based on that alone. But by this point, I think there's a very real possibility that this is Dylan Gabriel's first start. Like, you get Flacco through the Pittsburgh game, and then they're like, oh, yeah, he's just like you get Flacco through the Pittsburgh game and you're 1-5, and they're like going into Miami at home. That feels like a Dylan Gabriel start. So maybe that's such a coin toss, because either like he balls out or he's just like got the shakes and can't quite get going. No, they're gonna lose that game, but it'll be like a rough first half for Gabriel, or like they're just not gonna like quite give him the reins yet, and then in the second half he'll start to look kind of good, but it won't quite be enough. And people are like, if only they had trusted him in the first half, they would have won this game. But they'll lose barely, and then they'll go into New England and they'll lose that game.
Oh wow, not like not even a consideration. Just lose that game.
I have hope that the Patriots will be pretty decent. I'm concerned for their defense a little bit.
They brought in so many vets on that defense, though.
They've got some pretty good, like I love Gonzo, and Christian Barmore is really good. Just feels like the other high, like there just isn't a lot of like high end talent on the defense. So I'm a little concerned about that, but I love Drake May. And I think the receiving core is like a massive improvement, and I love Travion Henderson. Like I think they're going to be a much better offense this year.
I believe
I think they're better. They're pretty well coached. So the Browns go into the bye week 1-7 and come out against the Jets. I think they can win that game.
Yeah, Jets are going to be an interesting team this year with Fields.
Weird team.
Yeah,
that's another weird team. But I think the Browns can. I think the Browns can take care of business there. Here's an interesting one. The Browns have proven they can beat Baltimore in the past.
Yeah.
Can they do it again in Week 11 in Baltimore?
Well, that one's in Cleveland, I think.
Week 11 one?
I think Baltimore's
right.
week 2.
I have them flipped. Oh, then they might actually be able to win that one. Okay, so yeah, we'll come out and we'll beat Baltimore. That puts us at 3-7. Week 12 at Vegas. Geno and Genti. They've got a pretty good pass rush themselves.
They need it. They're another team with questionable secondary.
Oh, it is, and it's bad. That's the other team that has a case for worst secondary in the NFL.
I would argue Eric Stokes is better than any of the current Dolphins starters.
By how much? Oh, you know what? No, you're right. They've got Jeremy Chin too, and it's
they added Chin and was it Isaiah Palumeo or whatever? He's coming off kind of a marginal breakout year, so
they've got some guys. I was like, I forgot that they had some okay safety play, because that was the thing. I was like, at least the Dolphins have like a safety. But
oh yeah, Mika Fitzpatrick, he hasn't. I mean, the last couple of years, it's like, okay, it's
the production of the ball has been worse, but like I think he's
still
in safety.
I don't know if I'd go top 10, but I still think he's like an above average starter. I think there's a lot of good safeties in the NFL, so
there's some really great ones. But
Detroit might have like 2 of the top 5, so
I would agree with you there. So we'll lose to Vegas. So we're, what is that? 3-8. Is that right?
Yeah, it's not bad thus far.
All right. Yeah, 3-8 through week 12. We'll take that.
Yeah, there's some winnable games coming up too.
Yeah, San Francisco, Tennessee, Chicago, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. San Francisco, I think they'll be.
Are they going to be healthy?
They were last year. That's the question. Is like McCaffrey, Kittle's getting up there in age.
Yeah, you already have Ayuk and Parasol are on IR, or not IR, but the PUP to start training camp.
Trent Williams is ancient.
Still great.
He is still great. He has his own injury concerns too, but he's also incredible. They've got some great players on defense.
And it's the return of Salah, so.
And the return of Salah. Yeah, we forgot to mention that on our NFC West preview.
Oh, really?
Our most recent episode. And all the comments were just like, you guys didn't mention Salah one time.
Whoops.
My bad, guys. I kind of think the Browns could beat San Francisco.
I mean, with it being a home game, too, I mean.
It's a home game. It's a home game at the end of November. So it'll be starting to get pretty cold in Cleveland. Chance for snow. See, we're going to win one of these next two, right? Between San Francisco and Tennessee. I'm going to give us Tennessee, and we'll lose to San Francisco.
Okay, I think that's fair.
I don't think we're going to win both of those. So that puts us at 4-9 going into.
Then yeah, and then
Chicago.
Chicago. This is going to be
Chicago, Buffalo, Pittsburgh. Okay, we'll lose Chicago. We'll lose to Buffalo. We'll beat Pittsburgh, and then Cincinnati is going to be a game for them to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah, because I don't think Cincinnati is going to be. Oh, they've locked up their seed in at this point.
Yeah. They'll be at 8 wins. They need to win this game, and then they're also going to need like a tiebreaker to go their way. And they'll win that game though. In Cincinnati, it'll be brutally cold. Garrett's gonna slip on some snow. He's not. It'll be like a potential game-winning sack, and he's gonna slip in the snow and not quite get there, and it's gonna be a touchdown to Jamar, and it'll be over. But so what does that put us at?
That's like 5 or 6 wins, I think.
I gave us the win over Pittsburgh, so it should be 5-12.
5-12
which is an improvement, but probably still a top 10 pick. Combined with the other first round pick, probably give us the opportunity to trade up for a quarterback, whether that's Arch or
there's a ton.
Nussmeier. There's
Klubnik, Sellers, Aller.
Yeah, maybe I haven't watched all of them like in full. I've watched a couple of games of. I've watched Aller a little bit. I've watched Nussmeier and Klubnik, who I liked both of those guys a good bit. I think I liked Klubnik a little bit more.
Yeah, he might not have the ceiling that some guys do, but he's just like consistent. Like
that's all. I was just like, dude, his deep ball is gorgeous. I was like, he just doesn't miss. He just can't miss.
Yeah. And I mean, when I say ceiling, like when you look at guys like Lenore Sellers, Drew Aller, I mean, they're kind of freaks. So
yeah, no, I was watching Aller, and I'm like, the ball just leaves his hand. It's like a rocket. It's like when you first watched Allen, it's like the ball just leaves his hand differently.
Yep.
There's reason to get excited about.
Yeah, what I liked about Aller last year, he kind of got rid of the YOLO ball. And I think maybe part of that was like not trusting his wide receivers. Like if you're not Tyler Warren, then sorry, I'm not throwing that up to you.
Yeah, the receivers stunk. That's why I was like, people were really low on Aller, and I'm watching. I'm like, dude, these receivers aren't open.
Dude, there's a reason that they went out and like their whole wide receiving core are transfers. Like they brought in Penna from like Syracuse. They brought in Hudson from USC. Like they have a ton of transfers at wide receiver. So yeah, I think Aller should be probably a little bit better. Yeah, because I think that's the one thing missing kind of from his tape is like stepping up and making like the big moment. I think we saw that in like the Big Ten championship game, but then it never really kind of like came up again.
Step up and throw to guys either if they're not there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it was
Step
rough
up and throw
sledding.
to who?
Shoot, I guess Tyler Warren's down there somewhere. Golly, I mean, dude, he was dumping it off a ton to like a Singleton or Katron, and it's like, yeah, I think actually in the playoff game they were eliminated. His wide receivers didn't have one reception.
That's crazy,
dude. It was.
I didn't even,
yeah.
I wouldn't doubt you. I just like that. I didn't even know that was like a real stat.
Shoot, I will look it up right now, just in case I'm like BSing there. I completely believe that to be real. I'm like, that's just crazy. Yeah, I heard that and I was like, that can't be real. And I was like, sure enough, I'm pretty sure that Notre Dame game he didn't complete a pass to a wide receiver. Here we go. Notre Dame receiving. Yeah, no wide receiver made a reception, and they only had 5 of the 22 targets.
Jesus.
So like,
yeah, not his fault.
I expect Allard to be much better. I think Penn State's probably a favorite in the Big Ten anyway. So, because dude, Ohio State lost so much. Oregon's.
Yeah, but Ohio State always loses a lot.
Yeah, but they lost a lot. I mean, I get it. They're like a Georgia, but even Georgia, it's not like Georgia is. They're always competing. I say this, and they were in the SEC championship game last year. But yeah, you know what? Never mind. I'm full of crap.
Yeah, man.
But
no, I mean they lost 2 running backs and
the whole defensive line.
Yeah. Did they lose the entire defensive line?
Well, they lost Sawyer, Tuimalau. I know I butchered it. It is what it is. I
just call him JTT.
Yeah, they lost both their interiors in Hamilton and Williams. Like I think the one guy that I had on my watch list this summer from that Ohio State defensive line is like Kenyatta Jackson, who I think he played like maybe 300 snaps last year. But he's pretty nasty. He's thick and he can move. So could be something there. But
Ohio State needs like another like dominant edge rusher. They haven't had one in a while.
I mean, shoot, JT and like, I mean, in terms of like draft,
they weren't,
sure, maybe not,
Bosa.
But yeah, but still like production wise, like Sawyer was nuts in the playoffs. Him and JT were nuts.
Yeah, they were good. But
dude, he had like the scoop and score against
he did.
the Longhorns. I mean, he did that to his former roommate. Did that to poor Quinn Ewers. Yeah, they were roommates when Ewers was at Ohio State his freshman year.
That's funny.
The disrespect.
They probably had a laugh about that.
I'm sure Quinn Ewers had a big laugh about that. Hey, thanks for tanking my draft stock. Dolphin legend, by the way, Quinn Ewers.
Dolphins legend.
Future.
Legend. We were talking about how crazy the Dolphins quarterback depth chart is. There's a couple of teams with like ridiculous quarterback depth charts, but it's like Tua, Zach Wilson, Quinn Ewers, and Brett Gabbert, who is the younger brother of Blaine Gabbert.
Oh.
And he went to the same college I did, Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't it Miami, Ohio?
So yeah, man, it was. I would see him in the dining hall like freshman year. We're just like that's our quarterback, man. Him and Ivan Pace. Ivan Pace was there too.
Oh yeah, we're both Pace brothers. No, I think the other one went to Cincinnati when Ivan transferred.
Ivan transferred to Cincinnati.
Yeah, but like he had a brother who just came out this past. I think he came out this past year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he was a younger brother, so I think he went to Cincinnati when Ivan transferred. So
okay.
I think it just didn't line up, but
yeah.
Shoot, man. Golly, dude. The Dolphins, yeah. I don't know why we bring in Zach Wilson. Like, you're going to bring him to Miami where all the good-looking mothers are? That sounds like problems.
Yeah, but he's not the starter. He can afford to be distracted. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. He doesn't, like...
Backup quarterback's the best job.
If it was, like, Gardner Minshew, like, okay, he could pull that off. That's a vibes guy. Zach Wilson, he looks like a child. He is young. He's gonna make mistakes. He's gonna let these moms run right over him, dude. It's gonna be Housewives of Miami. It's gonna be terrible.
But he's not the starter, so it's okay.
But Tua's our quarterback.
So he'll play at some point.
Yeah, Zach Wilson's guaranteed. He's got 3 or 4 starts this year.
That's true. I think when Ewers will get some burn this year.
I don't think this year. I mean, I think things have to be really going bad for him to see the field. But yeah, no, I think he's gonna probably be like our emergency quarterback for a big part of the year while they try to kind of develop him, because he's got like a live arm. Like people talked about him as a first rounder just a couple of years ago.
He can rip.
Yeah, they just couldn't consistently put it together. But I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, at least he could throw it deep. He won't be accurate, but at least he could get it there. You know, and that's not to say Tua can't get it there.
It'll travel the distance. Well, you can say that Tua might not get it.
Oh, man, that poor guy. The Dolphins fans, you either love Tua or you utterly hate Tua's guts. Like, seeing like some of the flack like him and his family get on social media, it's like, guys, he's a good quarterback when healthy. I'm not saying he's a top guy, but he's like, I think he could be a Jared Goff when healthy.
He's startable.
Yeah. I think
he should like, for his health, like, he should probably hang it up. Like,
dude, man, I'll leave that up to him.
The concussions are just so bad.
Yeah, and I mean,
Kessler had 3 concussions in a season once, and like that was his last season.
Yeah,
like he didn't play again. So,
I mean, and with him, he also had like the devastating hip injury, his final year, and what put him on the IR at the end of the year was a hip injury. So,
yep.
I'm not saying he's falling apart, but we're putting out the bionic man out there. So.
Mr. Glass.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass.
Golly, man. But yeah, I think the Dolphins are probably blowing it up this year, which it sucks at the cost of our coaching staff, but I don't know. Maybe we could bring in like a Joe Brady or something.
Joe Brady?
I think he's trending in the right direction, man. He was able to get after the whole Ken Dorsey debacle, he was able to get that offense back on track. And I think another year of him as like a full-time OC. Yeah, why not? Give it a shot.
Okay.
I'd be down for it. I want it all, because I know if we blow it up, Tua's staying. We paid him, he's staying. Unless like he dies on the field, he is going to be the Dolphins quarterback.
Let me give you proposition.
A trade?
Get Brian Flores back.
Yeah. I don't know. I would have loved that, man. I loved him as our head coach.
Brian Flores, I think, got the most raw deal.
Oh, 100%.
Like they're just like, it's like, yeah, bro, the team sucks and it's all your fault. It's like, no,
they didn't even suck. I think what his like,
they didn't even suck.
They were like a 9-7 team. That was like their worst.
He was putting out 9-7 teams with like elite defenses with like nobodies.
Yeah.
With absolute nobodies, dude.
I think my preference would be to get a offensive minded head coach just so that OC won't get poached, because that's just the trend of the NFL. Because like, shoot, I mean, I guess you could also say that with like defense, because I mean the Lions just this past year, both their guys got plucked for a head coaching job. Right. So I guess nobody's out here.
Either way, you have to be. That seems to be the main thing that a head coach needs to be good at, is they need to be good at hiring coordinators.
Yeah.
Because that was like when the Eagles lost their two coordinators after their first trip to the Super Bowl.
That was a nightmare. That first year.
It was rough, yeah. So, like, and then they eventually figured it out. They brought in Fangio, and their defense was all of a sudden back to being incredible. So I think that's kind of the big thing is, like, if you as a head coach can hire coordinators, then it kind of fixes the whole, like, brain issue.
I just don't think there's many guys that can do that out there. Like,
the Buccaneers seem to have it down.
Yeah. I think because, like, Dan Campbell, we'll see, because this is the first time he's really had his staff poached. John Harbaugh is really good at it. Like, he cycled through, like, his defense always good. I mean, going back to, like, Wink Martindale and then Mike McDonald, and now you just have all of his disciples that are everywhere. Dolphins have one, Anthony Weaver. Sucks that he's never really going to get a chance, but it is what it is. Stinking, and then offensively too, man. Greg Roman was good for a certain stretch, and then he brings in, but I think he was good for the beginning of Lamar. Yeah, I think he was good.
He was a good run game designer.
Yeah. But I think he was good for the early portion of Lamar. He was good for Lamar at the early portion, but at some point it was like, hey, you need to expand this playbook, because, like, he's got the playbook. Like,
yeah, it's just the passing game, play calling and coordination. It really wasn't even the play. It was just like you would see some of these route combos, and it's like, yeah, we've got this hitch on the inside, and then we've got this dig that comes right in front of it, actually. So they're going to be in the same spot. So you actually have two guys that could catch the ball.
Wait, is this Shane Waldron we're talking about? But, like,
it's like, yo, what if we ran a post curl and a curl in the exact same spot? Yo, what if we ran mesh, but all of the routes collide?
Well, that's why they go out and they get Makin, who's been freaking wonderful.
Makin's been great.
So
Makin's been great.
I don't know if I trust, like, a CEO type of head coach. I think you kind of gotta get lucky on that. I think I would prefer
we'll see how.
Yeah, go get the offensive minded head coach, and then there seems to be always good DCs floating around. So
to some extent, we'll see how the Bears do. This will be
I think the Bears.
Experiment.
Yeah, I think the Bears, even if I think they're going to be wonderful, because, like, Dennis Allen may be a trash head coach. He's such a good DC.
Yeah, I think there's reasons to be optimistic about Chicago. I don't know if they'll be a playoff team, but
I mean, the NFC North has kind of become the new AFC North.
It's a very tough division to win, and, like, not that you don't need to win it to make the playoffs, but it's such a tough division.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rough slide.
Minnesota, Detroit, Green Bay, and then it's like, even like if you're Chicago, you're like, I mean, we've made some good moves, but
not all of us can survive.
We might still be the worst team in this division,
dude, especially if JJ McCarthy hits. 9-8. Dude, if McCarthy hits, then it's like, oh gosh, dude, that's horrifying.
Oh yeah.
But hey,
I think even if he doesn't, the Vikings can still be a good team.
Oh yeah.
I think he would have to be pretty bad for the Vikings to be bad.
Yeah, I agree with that. The defense should still be freaking phenomenal because, again, Brian Flores. Yeah, and
I have questions about their secondary also, but it's hard for me to discount Flores. And
yeah, I mean,
yes,
as a Dolphins fan, I really look at any secondary and I'm like, ooh, wouldn't mind that here. So, like, they got options. Like, I don't think it's nearly as. It's definitely in around that bottom of the league, but they have a lot of, like, they brought in Isaiah Rodgers, who hasn't really been able to, like, I mean, he used to be a good corner before the whole gambling thing. He just hasn't had, like, really the chance.
Maybe he's only good because he gambles.
Yeah, right.
He needs the gambling to really ignite himself. Yeah, they've got Rodgers, Mekhi Blackman, Byron Murphy, Jeff Okudah. There's a lot of leftovers here in the secondary. They still got Harrison Smith, so like he'll get everyone right maybe.
Yeah. I mean, Blackman might be a surprise this year because like last year he got hurt before the season, and he kind of had some flashes his rookie year. So there's at least a little mystery there. With the Dolphins, there's no mystery. We're bad.
It's just bad.
Yeah. Like my one hope in that secondary is Ifeatu Melifonwu, because like he was good in 2023, and then he was banged up, but he was also playing behind like two of the best safeties in the freaking NFL. So
yeah,
I got some hope for Melifonwu, but yeah, outside of that, it's we're gonna be bad. But hey, so should the Browns, and I appreciate you coming on, talking Browns with me, man.
Hey, anytime, man. It was fun.
Yeah, let's wrap this sucker up, and you want to go ahead and let the fine people know where they can find you. I'll have it all in the description. It'll be in the overlay. It's going to look nice and pretty, I promise.
Cool. Once again, you can find me at Blaiden.com. It's the one-stop shop for all things Blaiden, whether you want to listen to Stay Hot, a sports podcast with my good friends Matthew Sponauer and Theo Ash, whether you want to check out my music, whether you want to you can follow me on any of my socials. Most of them are just at Blaiden K, and then on Twitter it's just at Blaiden. So you'll find a common theme that if I can just get my first name as the resource, then that's what it's going to be. And if it can't, then I'm just adding the last initial on, and that'll be what it is. And typically my profile picture on a lot of these platforms is the Photoshop of Cam Newton with his MVP, but with my face on it. So, it was, for a while, it was Devonta Smith with the Heisman with my face on it. And then after I graduated college, I changed it to the MVP.
Jeez. But yeah, thank you again for coming on. And as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later, probably a bad time to put ice in my mouth as I outro the video, but it's all good. It's all good.